We are at a point in the year where we already want the next 2K game to come out. I don't think, or I don't recall, a 2K game being this dead this early into the year. There is no doubt that the interest in the NBA 2K franchise is probably at an all-time low, and if there's a time to make a new game, a good game for 2K, it definitely would be right now. There have been massive layoffs for 2K in the last couple months where they wanted to save $50 million. Even 2K understands that the game is at its lowest point of all time, where community leads, game developers for the NBA 2K franchise are specifically being laid off. That is never a good sign. If they don't want to keep losing their fans and their money, something major is going to have to change within 2K. And that's where NBA 2K24 is hopefully going to come in. 2K24 has its best chance to be a good game, and I know a lot of you are already annoyed with me saying those words because, look, you've fallen into the trap before. You've fallen in the trap of the trailers, of the posts, and even of me talking about 2K games coming up, of saying, oh my gosh, this 2K is going to be the best 2K of all time, and then they suck. You are probably never ever going to believe those words ever again, that 2K, the next 2K game is going to be good. But I repeat to you, 2K cannot afford another bad game. And I want to say that in fairness, even though you guys always get mad at me when I say this, but I think NBA 2K23 is not a bad game. I genuinely think it's one of the better 2K games of all time. From the Jordan challenges that are really, really good, I know they're not necessarily new, but they were really good, to the gameplay that's genuinely crisp, genuinely good, only a couple bad problems with the gameplay in my opinion, and the brand new eras that were an amazing idea with new camera filters, all that stuff I genuinely like NBA 2K23 specifically for me. I just think I don't like NBA 2K anymore at all, and I think I'm not the only one. This is probably where the majority of basketball and video game fans are thinking. It's not that the new changes and the additions to the newest game are bad at all. They're probably good. It's that the lack of removing the bad things that keep people away from playing these games have not been addressed. The absurd VC prices, the grinding that you have to do in order to have a good build or a good my team have made people basically give up on these games entirely. And I cannot blame these people. You want me to pay $70 to buy a game, and then you want me to pay $50 to either make a build or make a good my team. And on top of it all, I also have to grind the game. Yeah, I'm good. I'd rather play Fortnite that has way more content than NBA 2K and it's free. Or what about another sports game like FIFA, where at least they give you a good build to start off the game at like an 80 overall? Or play any good single player game out right now like Resident Evil 4 Remake, Dead Space, or even God of War. There are so many better options in the gaming industry right now that are honestly way less money than NBA 2K that I think majority of gamers are done with the NBA 2K franchise. And to double down, the only thing 2K had going for it was saying, hey, we're the only basketball video game out there. That only works if people like basketball. Believe it or not, basketball's popularity is dying down. Not necessarily on social media because it's still the most popular social media sport out there. I know it's a very weird thing to say, but let me explain. TV rating and viewership for basketball games are lower than they have ever been. But popularity online, like social media and stuff, it's still popular. So maybe people like the idea of basketball, but not actually watching it. And that could be tons of different reasons. A lot of people are saying that everyone plays the exact same in the NBA now because everyone just shoots threes. My personal gripe with it, even though I'm still watching, is that defense is at its worst ever, and I hate that players are not playing defense anymore. That's my personal biggest gripe with basketball right now. Or the big theory is that because there's no like superstars like LeBron James or Michael Jordan, because LeBron James has not been making the playoffs because he's either been hurt or had bad teams, that the popularity of basketball isn't as big as it usually is. So because basketball is not as popular as it is, 2K is not as popular as I guess it's supposed to be. Now, after saying all that I have said, 2K isn't losing 100% of interest because, first of all, you click this video, so at least you care about basketball and 2K a little bit. I will always care because, look, I love basketball. I love playing it. I love watching it. And I also happen to love video games. Well, guess what's the only basketball video game out there? NBA 2K. So for me, I will probably always play 2K. This is all I have.
I need help.
What kind of help?
I need somebody to help me.
So we probably know when NBA 2K24 is going to be released, and I do think you should care because this is probably going to be a good 2K, hopefully.
Liar!
And this time I'm not going to use math or history to try to predict when the release date is coming out. We actually have real solid evidence of when the game is dropping. So I want to say thank you to Joseph on Twitter for providing all this information for me. It also gives me an out or an excuse because if any of this is wrong, you can actually blame him and not me. So there you go.
What do you say fuck me for?
Out of all seriousness, let's look at the proof. So back in NBA 2K22, 2K had created a bundle called
the Mega Bundle.
This is essentially a bundle that gave you a bunch of extra content that you were never ever going to use in the game. It was like 20 bucks or something. It gave you like VC, Nike sleeves, a couple of My Team cards that were going to be like free in a couple months. It said that this offer lasted until September 8th. Do you want to guess when NBA 2K23 dropped? Yeah, I'll give you 5 seconds. So there you go. September 8th. And that makes a lot of sense when you think about it. Like, why would 2K have a deal about NBA 2K22 existing after NBA 2K23 release? It makes a lot more sense to end it the day the game comes out. So, duh, right? Obviously. Well, the cool thing about that is that that deal is back. So this is a brand new release date. If you boot up NBA 2K23 and you spam X to try to get to the main menu, you will accidentally purchase the PS5 Super Bundle, which they totally did on purpose. I've heard stories of people spamming that X button and buying like VC, all that kind of stuff on accident because that's what it leads you into. There's at least like 100 people in the world that have done that at some point. And if you look at the bottom of this deal, it will say that the deal ends on August 31st. This is a damning release date that is 100% going to be the release date. Let me tell you why. There's 3 reasons. Reason number 1, it is on a Thursday, and the last couple 2K games have been releasing on a Thursday, so it is adding up. Reason number 2, it is sooner than last year. Some of you might be a little worried because it's in August when almost every 2K game ever came out in September, but almost every single year, 2K games have been coming out a week earlier and earlier and earlier. That means that this would be on brand for the past couple years of 2K games and when they are being released. And reason number 3 is that just like last year, the offer of when the bundle ends would be on the release date. That's the only reason they would do that. It makes sense they would pick that date. These are 3 concrete fact and history proven reasons why NBA 2K24 is dropping on August 31st. To clarify something, that means we're only 4 months away from playing the brand new 2K game and probably only 2 months away from getting a lot of like trailers, news, and all that kind of stuff. But listen, we're just going to need better from 2K this time. A game that's come out a week earlier than last year means that there has been a week less time worked on the game. And I really wonder if they're gonna make a massive change for once. To be completely honest, I don't know what they could do anymore. I had the idea of making seasons and a battle pass and thought that would create hype throughout a year, but because the rewards were so bad, nobody cared. It's really hard to make 2K exciting every year when you only get a year to make the game, and video games take 4 to 5 years to make now. Instead, 2K has to drop a game a year. So that means they don't really have time to make a game from ground up unless it's going to be a terrible game. So I'll be honest, as a developer, I don't know what I would do if I was 2K to fix their issues. There's a couple obvious things you could do. First, you can make NBA 2K free to play. If you make the game free to play, first of all, your fan base would grow at an insane rate. NBA 2K20 was free, and that was probably the most popular 2K game of all time, also because of COVID, but still, it was the most played 2K ever. If you make the game free, everybody's going to download it, and then people are going to buy VC. So you're still going to make money. You're still going to get more fans. Free to play, in my opinion, is probably the smartest thing you could do if you're 2K. You could also stop making these games yearly instead of making an NBA 2K22, 23, 20. Just make an NBA 2K1 or whatever, and you have that game for 4 years and then make a ground up game every 4 years. You could do that. There's no way 2K would ever do that because they would lose too much money, but that would be the smart thing to do if you want to get more fans. or even just completely redoing game modes or making game modes that are brand new that would get people excited would at least create more hype every year. But like, because they almost do nothing, like I can see all these things maybe working a little bit, but because 2K does none of these things, it's the main reason why 2K is in the position they are right now. It's the main reason they're laying people off. It's the main reason it's losing popularity, is because they do not change anything. I'm very curious to see what 2K is going to do. Gun to my head, if I was the executive of the NBA 2K franchise, I would make Park and my team 100% free. 100%. You want to play it, you can. You have to buy VC to have a good build and a good my team, but that's normal. That's how all free-to-play games work. And if you want to play with rosters, eras, play now online, then you can buy the game for like $50. That's what I would do. 2K is never going to do that because there's no surprise that they're mostly greedy and they want to make as much money as possible. But if they want more popularity, if they want the game to stop dying, you absolutely make it free. Look at all these the most popular games in the world right now. Warzone, Fortnite, Apex. These are all the games with massive Rocket League. These are all the games with massive player bases. They're all free. Do you understand? It's time for 2K to cut out this cycle of yearly releases and either make a free-to-play game or make a really solid game every 3 years. That's my personal opinion. No matter what, I'm excited for the new game. I can't wait to try it out, and I hope it gets better. Let me know what you guys think about this release date, and if you like this kind of content, please join the pack and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.